Hey, what's up everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so this is a follow-up to the video where I was talking about the Villanova Knicks. Now we talk about the Nets a little more because they have another deal in place to further fix their situation. As I said to you guys, maybe they can try to take some of these picks that they just gotten to get Houston to give back their pick. Well, that deal is already in place. But only they're not sending out anything they just got back from the Nets. They're sending out Phoenix's 2027 first rounder to Houston to get their pick back for 2026. So it won't be the Cooper Flag draft. That's next year. It'll be the year after that, which I don't know what the draft looks like. I'm not really certain. But they'll get their first pick back so they can tank in 2026, hopefully let the bottom fall all the way out, and then, you know, start their rebuild if they want to, or just have whatever type of season they're going to have so they can have their pick back. But as we've been talking about, it's ironic. We've been talking about how on my team, I don't want us to give away any of our picks attached with our name on it, because it's hard to be able to start your situation or rebuild your situation or have any flexibility for a bad season or be rewarded for a bad season if you don't have your self-proclaimed name picks. You can have somebody else's picks, but it's not like having your own, and this is what will allow the Nets to really restart their situation in 2026 to have their pick back from the Rockets. Now the Rockets want that Phoenix pick in 2027, which the Nets got back from the Durant trade initially, and so that they can use it to get KD, as we talked about this morning, which initiated a lot of the conversation that we're referencing. The Nets will be getting back their 26th first rounder, and they're going to send out Phoenix's first round pick and 2025 pick swap that allows them to choose between Houston/OKC's first round pick for the Suns' first round pick. So I don't think I quite understand it, but it's basically a pick swap that allows them to choose between either the Suns' first rounder or the Houston/OKC first rounder, which I don't really know how that works. But basically they get the better of whatever pick comes from those three teams, or however that held that. I didn't quite understand Woj's situation, what he was saying there. But the point is, you got the Phoenix pick going back to Houston so that Phoenix can now have the ability to get their name pick back in a KD trade. So you see how this works? All these teams that have mortgaged everything are trying to get their picks back. You remember we were talking about that? You want your own pick. You can have somebody else's, but it's nothing like having your own. Phoenix wants their own pick back from 2027, or to better rephrase that, Houston thinks it'll be likely that they'd be willing to send Kevin Durant out if they can receive their own pick back. Now, I don't want to kill Houston if they're only interested in getting Durant, because I said this morning, I think if they're willing to do one of the two trades that are rumored, Kevin Durant or Jimmy Butler instead of Kevin Durant and Jimmy Butler. So I'm not really sure if they're going to go all the way with it. If they go all the way with it, I think it's a terrible decision. If they're only looking to do one of these trades, I think it makes sense, because they do have to condense some of these young players. Tyree Eason, Cam Whitmore, Jalen Green, Smith, Sengun, Amon Thompson, whoever they get with the third pick overall tomorrow. It's too many, it's way too many young players. So they do need to make a trade to try to get a little, get some things in here that kind of can help them win a little quicker and kind of make all of that make a lot more sense. And so bringing in one of those two players and keeping the rest of them as young players, I think could be potentially okay. Maybe you have a weird timeline, but it seems like they want to go after Durant. I would probably want to go after somebody younger, somebody cheaper. But hey, Houston wants to go after one of these guys. Now, I heard they want to go after both of them. And if they want to go after both of them, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. The teams that we acknowledge have mortgaged their future are trying to get their picks back. And that being the environment, Houston wants to trade away all these young players and all these young talent so that they can put themselves in the position that ultimately the Nets and the Suns are trying to get themselves out of. Tillman Fertitta, have at it, buddy. If you want to go into the hell people are trying to get out of, I'm going to watch you do it. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. The Nets doing everything they can to get their picks back. You are essentially trying to get Phoenix's pick back because Phoenix needs to get their picks back, and you want to mortgage everything that you have. When you're wealthy, in an NBA sense, you are wealthy. You got nothing but young talent, picks, and you trying to rush into a burning building that everybody else is trying to save themselves to get out of. It's crazy. It's like the most beautiful person in the world scarring their face up because they want to be ugly, while everybody else trying to get plastic surgery to look like them. That's essentially what this is equivalent to, in my opinion. It's just like, okay, man, Houston, you have a problem. Your owner has a mindset that he wants to win a championship. He thinks the best way to win a championship is to get Kevin Durant and Jimmy Butler on the team and maybe keep one or two of those young players that you've been accumulating all this time. He ain't learned nothing from the Lakers when we did that. Just mortgage everything. He ain't learned nothing from the Nets. He ain't learned nothing from Phoenix. He wants to go into the burning building they're trying to get out of. If y'all don't run him out of town over the next 24 hours, he's going to ruin your franchise. He really is. So that's really what I got to say about that. I feel sorry for Houston. Congratulations to the Nets. Congratulations to Phoenix. It seems like they're trying to audible out of this nonsense they just did. And see, that's the thing. It's like all it takes is a couple years of realizing it didn't work. The Nets didn't want any picks when it was time to trade KD. They really didn't want any. Now they're doing everything they can to get a bunch of picks for Bridges now. It's like you should have did that when you had a chance with KD. But, you know, all is well now. That ends well for the Nets. They just had to sit in that hell for 2 years before they realized it ain't nothing to be in. And Phoenix had a bad year last year. They realized what they did wrong. And I'd imagine Minnesota's going to do something like that soon, too. Because they got to fix their situation as well. I personally think a lot of these teams are correcting their situation out of necessity because of the changes in the collective bargaining agreement, making it so much more difficult to maneuver. You almost need your damn picks to maneuver. That's why I want my Lakers to go back to Utah and get their pick from them. And don't mortgage any more of these damn picks, man. Because you see these teams that are trying to get out of this situation quickly after putting themselves in that situation. You don't want to be them. You don't want to be in a situation where you're hoping somebody will give you your pick back. So, that's why I don't want the Lakers to do nothing, man. Don't do nothing. If LeBron wants to sign a contract, cool. But don't do nothing else. Don't know that Jeremy Grant crap, none of that. Look at what the field is doing. They're fixing what it is we've been talking about for the last 3 days on this channel. Everything I've been talking about. It's almost like these owners been listening to me. It's time to get your picks back if you mortgage your future. It's time to get away from that super team nonsense. It's time to think about the future because the teams that you are going to have, if you don't make these type of moves that the Nets and the Suns look like they could potentially be making, you are going to be bad. I don't give a damn what happens tomorrow. For the next several years, you're going to be bad. And so that ain't nothing to want. That is not good. It's going to be a plethora of young players coming into this league that you're going to want, and you're not going to get them. The Nets learned their lesson. After 2 years of doing that and it didn't work, after 2 times of trying to mortgage their future and it went to hell, watching the Celtics win a championship and all that, and you look at what OKC has turned into, with all the picks and plethora of stuff they have, you do not want to be the team that's mortgaging your future. You do not want to be the team that doesn't value young talent. So Houston has all of the young talent, but they don't value it. They don't want to let these kids hatch. They tired of them before they even get into their prime, which is absolutely asinine. They got a great crop of kids, but they're not happy. All you got to do is trade a couple of them, but they want to trade most of them. So they're going to suffer that. That's what happens. You play like that, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And while the Lakers, I have to say the same thing I just said. Look at what the field is doing. Look at the landscape, man. Look at what the people around you are doing. Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, look what they're doing. Look what the Nets are doing. Look what the Suns are doing. Tell me it makes sense to be doing dumb stuff for optics. Well, I want to go after that guy because he's a name. Oh, I want to trade my picks so we can get role players. I was listening to a podcast earlier today, about an hour ago. Dude was talking about trading the first round pick to Orlando for like Jonathan Isaac. Like, man, if you don't take a look at what the teams who did stuff like that are now trying to do to fix the problems that they created by doing stuff like that. Don't do stupid crap. That's essentially what I have to say to the NBA. Not just my team, everybody. Especially you fans that want to get a good team right now. That right now crap is what these teams are trying to undo. The mistakes that they made when they were thinking like that are the mistakes they're trying to clean up by making trades like this. And luckily enough, they have a Bridges that the Knicks want 5 picks worth for. They got a Kevin Durant over in Phoenix that they could trade for to get their pick back and probably a plethora of other picks and young players. That's what the beauty of having a superstar is. It can provide you that if you're willing to trade them. The problem is, if you're a team like the Lakers and you want both of your stars to retire in your uniform, guess what you're not getting for them? All this that the Nets received, all this that the Phoenix Suns are about to receive for Durant if they go through with the trade. And that's the harm of letting you guys retire in your uniform. When you've mortgaged already everything, you can't afford it. This is what you are leaving on the table. So I just wanted that to be very clear. I think the Nets gave themselves a future. I think Phoenix is going to try to undo the nonsense, at least to the best of their ability. And if they got any sense, they'll trade Kevin Durant right away. If the Houston Rockets are serious about giving them their pick back and a bunch of other stuff to come with it, I don't think there should be any hesitation for the Phoenix Suns to do that. None. So this is good. This is good. It shows me that what I've been talking about is the real thing. If you're not thinking about your future, you're not respecting that young players are coming into the league that you're going to want. You're not respecting that picks provide you the flexibility to make moves, which is a necessity. Flexibility to undo mistakes, which is often going to be done just in general. Trying to manage a basketball team. Help you fix situations where a guy will get hurt. Look what the Knicks were able to do. OG Anunoby got hurt and then wanted to opt out. They had mortgaged several picks to get OG, which is taken into account when you consider what they have left. They gave away a couple picks to get OG. Now OG don't want to eat. He want to price himself up. So if he bounces, what were they able to do? Take some of them picks and get Bridges. If they don't have those picks, what are they doing with their small forward position? How does that trickle down to superstar being unhappy? Jalen Brunson, you know what I'm saying? Picks allow you the abilities to do whatever the hell you're going to do. You don't have those picks and you can't move. So that's why we preach this as hard as we do ahead of the draft. It's very important. Keep your picks, acquire picks, value the development, the development department of your franchise. Value that in the NBA. If you're not going to value that, you're going to be in the dumps. And I'll say this. Houston, it's not too late to reconsider what you're doing. It's not too late to not do something stupid, man. Kevin Durant is 166 years old, bro. You ain't got no business giving away young players for him. You ain't got no business giving up picks for him. He is a name. A rather old name. This ain't 2022. This ain't 2012, rather. He is not in his prime. This is a league for young men. If you're going to give away young men for old men, you're going to look stupid in a field that is trying to fix stupid decisions that they've made, man. I expect the Minnesota Timberwolves to come around to understand that they've done the same stupid crap with that Rudy Gobert trade and doing something that Karl Towns had to go. They're going to have to do something to fix that, whether they know it or not. Detroit, consider it. I know you don't have the greatest young talent. Consider what you're looking at, though. Be wise with your asset class. It does provide you that flexibility to live out your roster dreams. You know what I'm saying? And it all trickles down to making your coach look good or bad, front office look good or bad, and all these different things, man. It all comes down to, do you have the equity to make moves? Because free agency is not guaranteed. But it definitely helps if you have some flexibility. So that's what I have to say, man. This has been a night for picks, swaps, and undoing mistakes. I see teams starting to come around to their senses or be forced into it one way or another. It's good to see. And now we wait for the next moves that trickle down from this. As I said, for a lot of y'all GMs who are frustrated right now, just be patient, because something's going to shake a loose. You don't have your trade right now, but that trade is it's gonna come about. Now that stuff like this is happening, and Mikal Bridges is going for 5 picks, I think you could see more moves. I think you could see more moves, man. I think other teams are gonna start looking around saying, how much can I get for this guy? Do I really think I've got a nice ceiling with this player? Let me see what I can get for this guy. Because if Mikal Bridges is going for 5 picks, your star is worth something in this league right now. Teams like Utah, San Antonio, OKC, they got picks to give, man. They got them. So that's pretty much what I got to say. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.